Hi folks, the Filipina Pea here. And today's question is, what do women think of men who leave their home countries to seek love in foreign lands?
I almost never use other people's content whatsoever, except I was absolutely moved to use Filipina P's content here because I was watching her video this morning. And I've been a long time supporter of her channel. And the thing that I love so much about this video, which I'm pretty sure is going to make a lot of people triggered and angry, especially specifically here, domestic quote unquote women. It's the fact that she is speaking from the perspective of a Filipino, which is obviously one of the countries that a lot of passport bros choose to go to looking for wives. As far as the country, it's a very nice place. Yes, there are some areas of poverty. However, they have modernized most of their city. I always fly their business class on Filipina Airlines A350-900, which is probably one of the best planes you can get under the A380-800. My favorite, operated by Emirates and Etihad or Singapore Airlines. But anyway, not to get besides the point, the people are very, very nice. The people are very, very friendly. A lot of expats decide to retire there because they know their dollar goes a lot longer than it would go in America. So, when they retire, they get their pensions over there. Some of them decide to build small houses. Some of them simply decide to rent condos. That's my thing. I like to rent condos. So this way, if you get tired of being in one condo, you can always go to another one. I always choose one that has nice swimming pools or has beach access and this, that, and other. So the reason why I appreciate Filipina P's video today is because she is one of these foreign women who, according to these horrible leftist, feminist, liberal horror shows, these women don't exist. Filipina P is not poor. She's highly intelligent. And by the way, most of these females in these countries, unlike the ones here who are dropping out of high school or the ones here who are barely graduating, no. Most of these women in these other countries, they get their degrees. And they don't get their degrees so that they can compete with men. They get their degrees so that they can be better at what they do or better at getting a job. Because, see, the women here think that all of these women in these other countries don't have jobs. But that's what happens on YouTube. When you see these panels, what it usually is some angry divorcee feminist who is bringing anti-passport bros on the panel. Usually it's these dating roaches. I refuse to call them dating coaches. They ain't coach nobody. These are dating roaches trying to sell their books or trying to sell their bullshit. And the bottom line is these guys come on there hating on the passport bros because the passport bros understand that if they travel, they don't need this bullshit game just so that they can end up getting cheated on and divorced by one of these horrible domestic liberal feminist strags. So the bottom line is Filipina P's video is much appreciated because she's one of the females who these horror shows would claim don't exist. As far as these horror shows claim, the ones who don't travel, women like Filipina P don't exist. All of them are impoverished. All of them are poor. All of them are barefoot. All of them have dirty feet. All of them have poor villages, blah, 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 blah. It's all a bunch of stereotypes. But now she's literally got this video and she's like throwing it in their faces that they are basically racists who are using stereotypes to paint this very, very broad picture of these foreign women who absolutely appreciate American men, are willing to meet American men, and in many cases are interested in marrying American men. And I also want to just point out one other thing. Most of these horror shows here, when they do have these stupid panels and they invite anti-passport bros on, what they don't want to ever do is they don't want to ever get actual couples and put them on. And I appreciate Filipina P's show because a lot of times she actually gets couples, brings them on, and she interviews them for her show.
Passport bros go to third world countries and purchase little girls and turn her into a breeding mare. They're little girls, you're sick.
Now, I would like to point out that in my community chat, I've actually had friends black males who've married overseas, and I've posted either their wedding photos or I've posted pictures of them from time to time in my community chat, right? Now, the women, if you were to look at the majority of my friends who I actually talk to on a regular basis, if you were to look at the photos, you would see that most of these women that they've actually married, and I got to put that out there, that they've married these women. These women are close in age to my friends. They either maybe 2 or 3 years younger, 5 years younger, something like that. So for these strags to continue to paint this broad brush and try to make all of these men who are going overseas seem like they're doing something nefarious. The only thing nefarious they're doing is getting away from your ass. That's the thing. So I just made a little video a little while ago talking about how there's a shortage of black male sperm in this country and how all of these people who want to have children are upset that the clinics haven't done their best job to get more black male sperm donors. We don't want to give you any sperm, and we're not going to give you any sperm. Our our cultural distinctiveness belongs to us. We're not giving you anything. So you can get your squirt from Pookie and Ray Ray, because we're not going to give you anything. We're not going to help you. We're not going to perpetuate the nonsense and the bullshit that you've got going on in this country. We're not doing it.
Black women, are you ready? Apparently, there's a group of, you guessed it, Black men who have grown weary of the, quote, control that Black women have over them. So they've decided to seek dominance elsewhere, and that's in the form of traveling to third world countries to seek a bride. What's at play here is that these dusty, mediocre at best so-called men have finally come to the realization that Black women are no longer willing to settle for the bare minimum and are choosing to stay single and maintain their peace. If divesting to desperate and disenfranchised women is so great, why do you all have to make an announcement, a grand announcement? Oh, I know why. Because you actually think that this will hurt Black women. So, sayonara, arrivederci, adios.
Okay, so the undesirable, dusty, mediocre, at best, so-called men want to get away from you? I wonder why they want to do that. You sound really sweet and not bitter at all.
If there's anybody who's actually had to settle in this country, it's the black male. We've had to settle for high body counts, fake eyelashes, fake hair, nose rings, these horrible septum rings that make me absolutely sick. It's as if these women suddenly woke up one day and said, what can I do to make myself less appealing and less attractive? And then they said, I have an idea. I'll stick a big nose ring, a nasty ass boogers and snot nose ring through my nose and look like a cowbell. That's what I'll do. Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Oh, I have a better idea. What I'll do is I'll run up my body count until the next guy who I date can literally smell the last guys that I dated. If anybody's had to settle, it's the black male. And guess what? Now that they do understand that they have options, now that they do understand that that passport has power, they are now exploring their options. And you're not happy about it, but that's not my problem.
I am not mad about Black men getting their passports and paying to play overseas. I just truly want to help these men to see logic and reason. A man that's looking to marry a foreign woman went to an event wearing a top hat. Brother, are you serious? You look ridiculous. And you're clearly undesirable, but I'm sure that you've blamed Black women for your lack of what it takes to attract them. But you want to go overseas where women are unaware culturally of your nature and pay them to pretend while you give them nothing but money and a wet behind. They aren't marrying these women. The men in this movement are largely undesirables or men that want to use a woman freely without her giving any pushback.
The passport bros are dehumanizing women to the point of basically being used for their uterus and domestic capacity. The passport bros want to put them to work in the bedroom and the home.
Ah, yes, the claim that the guys are coming over here so they can turn women into slaves and force us to work in the bedroom while they impregnate us. Diabolical.
In order to obfuscate the argument, what again, and I've already said this, What these angry feminists have to do is they have to paint these men as if they're all predators and they're all going overseas just to knock on women and then just to leave and never return. What they have to do in order to make that false argument work is they have to ignore all of these men who are actually getting married to these women, some of which they're bringing back to the States and some of which they're staying in those women's countries. Now, I just want you to look. All of the ones who bring up all these stupid comments on this nonsense, this TikTok nonsense, I just want you to notice what they don't do is they don't take any steps to actually get any couples to come on their pathetic channels. They don't get any couples. They don't look for anybody to come on. They don't look for any black male, Asian female, or black male, Latino female couples. They don't do that because that would destroy their argument if you have the woman herself telling you, oh, I love him. He's my husband. I love him. He's done everything for me. He is my other half. See, they don't want to have that because that destroys their argument. Not only that, it also leaves them in the whole pit because now they're aging, single, childless, their eggs are rotting, their milk is going sour, and they're just mad. And there's nothing they can do about it. And then when they go to the sperm bank, then they find out the black male sperm is only 2% of what's in the bank.
Next.
But you have to understand, a lot of us, 46, be 47 soon, each day that goes by makes me more grateful that I'm divorced. I thank God every day that I'm divorced. If you want to get your passport and go overseas, you're welcome to it. Bye. I mean, maybe there you'll find women who are okay with being treated like doormats. I don't know.
Men are not trying to treat women like doormats. Men, whatever culture they come from, they have their ideas about what marriage is supposed to be. Every culture is a little bit different. But for the most part, men want to have a marriage, they want to have children, and they want to have a relationship that is consistent, steady, and it works. Recently, the Green Ranger from Power Rangers deleted himself. Now, it most likely was because he was he maybe had some financial troubles and he had some emotional problems. And it was very unfortunate that what happened. And the reality is, it wouldn't have happened if he had had a stable relationship and a stable marriage, most likely. But unfortunately, men, especially men who tried to create families, especially with these domestic strags, when they try to create families with this new Western liberal feminism where these women think that they can simply just leave a relationship and leave these kids and break a family. You see, the sad thing is that only happens in America. In the rest of these countries, you can point out any Islamic country you want and just about most of these Asian countries. Stuff doesn't happen there. Because if the husband doesn't retaliate, the family will. And when I say the family, I'm talking about the father, possibly the mother. And you know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to get too serious about it here, and I'm not going to get too detailed here. But all of this liberal feminist nonsense, which is breaking these families and creating all of these criminals out of these children because they're basically losing their minds because they don't have their parents there guiding them. Well, I can just promise you this. There are certain cultures, there are certain religions, there are certain countries around this world where that'll never be allowed to happen.
What else you got?
Passport bros are nothing but a bunch of pedophiles who's traveling across the world to get young girls. It's pedophilia tourism.
Nothing but pedophiles? Nothing but? Which means that all the guys who look for partners outside their country are pedophiles?
I just have to say very quickly, there is nothing more annoying than first of all, you've got the fake dating roaches that are on YouTube. But then on top of that, you got these bitch-broken men who feel it necessary to repeat and parrot all of the nonsense that they hear coming from their feminist controllers on the left. So I really don't have a whole lot to say about this dude because obviously he's a lamer. See, the thing about it is he can come on and he can insult passport bros, but what you don't see is you don't see him showing off any receipts. What you don't see is you don't see his girlfriend anywhere. You don't see his wife anywhere. Why didn't he follow up on this video and show us what he's dating? Why didn't he show us what he's, quote unquote, married to, if he's even married? The answer is these dudes don't show receipts because they ain't got nothing to show.
That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. But you made the claim, so you have the burden of backing it up. So please, give us the evidence. Show your data. I've been living here 30 years, and the women that foreigners choose are adults like me. And in case you didn't know, buying little girls is completely illegal. The fact is, the vast majority of passport bros are coming here for a real relationship with a woman, not to molest a child. What's wrong with you? And why would you accuse your own men like that?
It's 2022. You're talking about a freaking passport. I've had one of these since I was 2. Y'all were acting like they just came up with these in 2022. I'm gonna go over and get me a woman, be able to abuse her. Ain't nobody gonna do. Do y'all understand how people feel about Americans? That just goes to show you ain't been nowhere. So y'all think y'all gonna run your broke asses over to other countries and they go, oh, these some black kings from America. Most people don't like Americans. They think that we are overrated. They think that we're better than everybody else. They don't like us. They don't like us. They sure not gonna like you if they know that you're getting your passport so you can come over there and abuse their women. That as a black man, if you want to roll up in some of these other countries and try to abuse their sisters and their daughters and their nieces and their mothers and taking them out, toe tagging 4.5 of them a day, you know what's going to happen. You're going to get hacked up with a machete.
Question is, how do you not feel slimy and disgusting as a person, knowing full well that you are going to another country, seeking out women that you perceive as easier to manipulate, easier to control, and easier to take advantage of? And even if you do find some poor woman that needs a green card, wants to move to the U.S. or, needs money, that's still not love. So on that note, safe travels, and I hope that you and all the other passport bros get exactly what you're looking for.
So what other insults you got?
You want to know what your problem is? Your entire life you were told that skinny is good and fat is the worst possible thing that you could be. You're not able to wrap your head around fat people being comfortable in the skin that they're in because you're uncomfortable in the skin that you're in. Fat women wearing outfits that you won't even wear because you're ashamed of your stretch marks. They wouldn't even give you a second look. The truth is, fat was never a bad thing. And once we figure that out, you'll never be able to put us back in that box again. You can have it. I'm sure it'll be a much better fit for you.
Sir, on behalf of all black women everywhere, we absolutely do not give one solitary about you going to another country and finding a wife. Please go choose somebody else. And it never ends the way that y'all think it does. And I really feel sorry for those women. And so if they willing to pump it up, because we know that little thing don't work no more, if they willing to pump it up for y'all, have at it. Have a great day.
Well, there it is. When you're out of ammo, just take the easy way out and go for the low-hanging fruit of a guy's jump.
Just in case you didn't see it, the video that I made right before this video was to address in reply the black male sperm donor shortage that's currently in this country. You can easily type this up and you can read it on either the Washington Post or there's a couple of other sites that may have dropped paywalls and they make it available that you can read the story. But the gist of it is that there are a number of LGBT couples and there are a bunch of probably black couples out there who want to be able to go to a sperm bank and get samples of the DNA of high-earning, highly intelligent, tall, specifically tall, because they don't want short guys. But they have a screening process where they're basically trying to make you out to be the next Bill Gates as a black man. Like, you have to be a highly intelligent doctor, and you gotta be tall, and you've got to make a lot of money, and you have to do this and that. And they go through your entire genetic profile in order to make sure that you're worthwhile as a sperm donor. See, they don't want the sperm from Pookie and Ray Ray. What they want is they want the high quality, high value man sperm. Because at a certain point, they know that they've wasted their entire existence and that they only got like a couple of eggs left. And before the eggs drop, they trying to get that high quality sperm. As far as I'm concerned, for the people who hate eugenics and the people who don't like fooling around with nature, as far as I'm concerned, this is the height of hypergamy out of women where it's funny because I think about people like Nick Cannon. I hate to cut myself off. I think about people like Nick Cannon, and I have to want, like, at first I'm disgusted by him because he's having all these kids with all these females. But then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he's basically a reproductive abuser. And he's not marrying any of them in order to ensure that he doesn't lose half of his wealth. But he's having all of the children he wants to have by literally having all of these children with women who already know that he has no intention of marrying them. And they are literally signed up for this. He pays $3 million in child support per year, and he has a net worth somewhere around $20 million. So as long as he keeps showing up and doing his shows and everything, he probably won't go broke for another 30 or 40 years. God knows if his residuals are going to pay him in the millions, especially with inflation. But the thing about it is, you have to wonder, somebody who's going to have all these children, he'll never be able to be a good father because he can't be present for all of these kids simultaneously. He's going to have some of these women out there dating other men, bringing foreign men around his kids. And you have to wonder, like, how do people live like that? But the bottom line is, I think he feels that he has enough money in order to perpetuate it. Now, when you look at regular guys, not celebrities, but if you look at regular guys on the medium to low end, the medium to low end earners, the high value men, even the medium value men, it's like all they're interested in is finding a decent person that they can trust, that they're not worried about divorcing them the second things go wrong or the second things go bad, because all relationships are going to have problems. That's inevitable because you're dealing with very different people. But what you're dealing with now is you're dealing with women who are anxious to divorce because these no-fault divorces make it so that they can walk away with half your shit. In fact, I have a client right now who possibly is facing losing his damn house because his wife decided that she wanted to have her own de facto separation on the dude. And he came to me for financial advice. He came to me and my firm. But the no-fault divorce thing has basically put men in a situation where they don't want to marry any woman who even has the slightest possibility of being able to divorce them. Because a divorce isn't just a divorce. A divorce is them taking half your shit and walking away with it. It's like, I have to wonder to myself, was Nick Cannon right? And I know I don't think he's right, but I have to wonder, is he doing things the smart way? What's the difference between him having 12 children or 20 or even 2? What's the difference? As long as he can afford them. What's going to end up happening, though, if he doesn't stay on his grind, is they're just going to end up taking more and more and more and more of his money. And if he's not careful, he's going to end up like the Green Ranger. But I have to wonder, is he doing it the smart way? Only time will tell. But I understand what he's doing. He refuses to marry any of them, but yet these women keep signing up to have kids for him. That right there is the height of hypergamy. It's the height of it. Going after these celebrities' DNA, going to these sperm clinics, looking for only the choice DNA. That's the height of hypergamy right there. It's the height of it. But, bottom line is, I'm not giving up anything. First of all, I mentioned this in the last video. I'm 6'6". I make a lot of money and I travel. I do all these luxury vacations. I put it on the YouTube just so you could see what these places look like, because you women ain't never going to these places because you can't afford it and there ain't no guys to take you there and you're not going with them. And God forbid you go by yourself, because you don't want to end up like Shanquilla, because if you travel with some of your friends might not like you or some shit and then turn on you while you're over in them other countries. Since you're so worried about black men going to other countries and making up these stereotypes about us getting chopped up, I'm going to return with, there's a stereotype. You're going to go with your girlfriends and maybe they turn on you and break your goddamn neck. But I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard that from me. So all I'm saying is, and just to end, is that there's a reason why there's a shortage. These men are not trying to perpetuate this quote unquote society you've built. They're not trying to perpetuate this. Most of us want to see it end, and we want to tear it down. If that means voting for your dreaded opposition in order to put them in power so they literally in the welfare state, destroy the welfare state, cut money right out of your WIC and your EBT check, then that's what we'll do. If that doesn't work, then we'll figure out other ways to divest in order to take our hands and our cash out the pot. And in this case, we're taking our DNA out of the pot. But that's how vicious this is getting. And maybe that's a good thing. I believe in Darwinism. I believe that sometimes two sides have to fight and one side has to grow out of that fight dominant, having won in order for things to proceed. That's what I believe. Now, you don't have to believe what I believe. I'm just telling you what I believe is happening in real time. And even this story right here is proof of it that I can point to. It's tangible. It's something that we can see. So that's basically all I really wanted to talk about. I appreciate Filipina P for her video. I appreciate the clips that were sewn together. She's done videos like this before, but I'm pretty sure this video is most likely going to catch, it's going to catch more steam, I think. I think this video right here, especially because she's stringing together all these horrible strags from TikTok, she's done it this time in a way that she hasn't done it before. I think she's going to catch some steam with this one. I think she's going to be able to really see some big numbers on this. And good for her. Good for her. Next time I'm in the Philippines, I'm going to find out like where she is. I want to interview her next time I'm in the Philippines. We could do like one of them collabs or something. But the thing about it is it's something that needed to be said. She did it, handled it perfectly. And it just needed to be said. And now, just watch. It's not going to be 24. It won't be 48 hours. It won't be by the end of Thanksgiving. You're going to see a whole bunch of videos targeting her coming from the strags on the opposite side of the spectrum. You'll see. It won't. I guarantee those videos are being made right now. It's just like me. Right now, I'm finalizing these videos in iMovie. I guarantee you it's not going to be but 3 or 4 days. You're going to see them. A whole bunch of video clips targeting her. Here's the thing, though. She did a great job. She's in the right. And we have to keep up the fight. We got to keep on showing these men that there's a better way. We have to keep on showing these men get their passports. There's greener pastures out there. You don't have to be a Nick Cannon. You don't have to be here and end up like the Green Ranger. There are greener pastures out there, and we got to show it to them. So that, as I always say, passport pride worldwide. Get your passport. Get out, see the world, find out what your real options are, and may the force be with you.